After a long July summer break, Bassmaster is back in action at Lake St Clair. And can anybody really compete without scope or not being an expert at live scope on Lake St Clair? I think the answer is no. Like, honestly, if you hate live scope, just go ahead and pick your lineup. Don't bother tune in Bassmaster Live or watching the Bassmaster coverage on MS1 because you're going to hate it. It's going to be probably the most scope-dominated tournament we'll have all season, and I don't think there's a lake that's more dominated by live scope than Lake St. Clair in the entire country, especially in the summer. That being said, they're absolutely going to wreck big bags of smallmouth. It's probably going to take over 20 pounds to be in the top 50 cut, and to be in the top 10, you're probably going to be 23 to 25 pounds a day going into Sunday. So they are going to catch lots of smallmouth, a big smallmouth, and they're going to be mostly pinpointing them with their electronics because Lake St. Clair is pretty featureless. There's a little bit of grass, a lot of salties, but the fish don't have a lot of places to hide. I mean, they can get a little tight to the bottom in the grass, but for the most part, they're gonna be tracking them down with their front-facing units. That being said, plan accordingly. Now, let's talk about who did well in the last event on 10 Killer. If you're way back when, that shallow grinder flipping event that was won by Wes Logan, that was pretty awesome. Definitely not a live scope event. Some guys did okay, made the top 10, but it definitely wasn't dominated with electronics. So let's talk about who did well in the Beat HellaBass group. Who's sitting good for the year-end prize in the Beat HellaBass group? The group is locked, so you can't get in. And then we'll break down Lake St. Clair with the Omnia app and then do the picks. And then it'll be just one event left for all the marbles in the Beat HellaBass group. So winner from Lake St. Clair, Warren, 11HW Beard, congratulations. Sent you an email. Watch for that. Winner of a Omnia Pro year-long membership, $60 value. So that's awesome. Over on Drain the Lake, General Probiotic and Galena with a big monster score. Also winning a year-long subscription to Omnia Pro. If you haven't checked out Omnia Pro, it's a pretty awesome deal for reasonable $60 annual membership. You get 10% back on all your purchases. You get special sales and discounts on, especially on things they don't normally put on sale that are kind of price sale blocked. So check that out. Plus, you get free shipping, no minimum order, which I love. I just need one spool of line, a couple of bags of Senko, something like that. I can place the order and don't feel like I have to spend $50 to get free shipping. Plus, all the great features of Navionics, contour lines on your phone, and a lot of other features. It's definitely worth checking out. And to save you money, you can use code HBPRO to get half off right now through the end of Fancy Fishing. So definitely check it out. And shout out to Omnia for supporting the Fantasy Fishing Group, providing all the great prizes. If you don't want Omnia Pro, there is a discount code down below for 15% off every month down in the video description that you can use to save on rods, reels, tackle, and all kinds of great stuff. So if you want to support the channel and support Omnia for supporting fancy fishing and Beat HellaBass, go give them a chance. Check out their great selection and their great customer service and pretty darn fast shipping. As far as those in the leader position, Warren is also leading with 2 events to go, and he's got a pretty decent little lead over Ann Williams and General Probiotic. If Warren is a Omnia Pro membership at the end of the year, his year-end gift card of $100 will double to $200. So if you're in the hunt, you might want to get HB Pro and stock the odds in your favor that you're going to double up on that incentive program for the year-end prize. And same with LA Rams fishing team, B. Johnson, leading Drain the Lake. Pretty healthy little lead there over K. Fales and R. France. But you know what? There's a lot of points to be given away in Drain the Lake, so I wouldn't give up just yet with 2 events to go. Now, let's talk about Lake St. Clair and how to pick your team. So Lake St. Clair, giant body of water. I don't know what their boundaries are. When it was the Bassmaster Open, we could go like a ways out into Erie. We could go a ways into Huron. But Lake St. Clair is plenty big, and I don't know if there's any reason to leave the lake. You also have the Lake St. Clair River, Detroit River. I believe they're going to go out of one of these ramps on the north side here, Anchor Bay. One of the great things about the Omnia website and app, even the free version, is the ability to turn boat landing on. Playing the wind and to be able to go to a boat landing where you can get protected and get in and out is a really cool feature. that's a good tool to use. Also, the wind feature, right? You can look at the wind forecast and see what it does, and that's something to pay attention on a big lake like Lake St. Clair to plan your practice and your tournament days accordingly with the wind forecast. The other thing we can look at here is water temperature for Lake St. Clair, and we can see that outside of a couple shallow areas, we are mostly pretty homogeneous, mid to upper 60s with some 70s in certain parts of the lake. But if anglers are looking for fish in certain stages of summer patterns, this can be good. Obviously, in recent years, Anchor Bay has been the focal point, so we'll see if that is a player, a big time player. Like everybody that wasn't the winner was in Anchor Bay pretty much last time, outside of Cifuentes, who's out in the shipping channel. So we'll see what goes down in this event, but definitely going to want anglers that are very well versed with their live front-facing sonar in this event. That's going to be a big deal. That's the lake breakdown. Thanks to Omnia Pro and Omnia Fishing. Let's now jump over and make our picks. Drain the lake, pick them, and a tiebreaker weight. I slipped a little bit at 10 killer. 10 killer was pretty bad for me. That's the way it crumbles. But we're still up in the dark green, having a pretty decent season. But we fell a few spots for sure. But we need to make that up in the last two events here. And we're not going to be super conservative. We're going to try some things. So if you're in the same boat as me, I'll be looking to give you some sneaky picks here. So starting in bucket E, Jeff Gustafson getting all the limelight, but he missed the cut last time. I know he's a smaller guy. I know he wants to get back into the classic somehow, going back to Fort Loud and Telco, but it's a long shot at this point for him. He probably needs to top 10 the last two events at minimum. I don't know if that's enough, but he's getting a lot of love. Paul Mueller, a smallmouth guy, but smallmouth guys don't always do well at Lake St. Clair, so beware. Chad Pipkins lives pretty close to St. Clair, but admittedly hates Lake St. Clair. He normally runs to Erie. It normally doesn't work out for him recently because Lake St. Clair's fishing too well. Alex Weatherall, northern guy, but I'm going to go Jonathan Kelly. At 1.8%, he had a top 25 here last time. He knows smallmouth from being Old Forge, PA, has done well here, has done well in other northern fisheries. So I'm going with a value pick here, Jonathan Kelly, bucket E. Ben Milliken fighting for his Elite Series requalification in bucket E. Jason Christie's won here. He was, pre-Pan, back in the Pan Optics days, he used it to snap tubes and win early on Lake St. Clair. A lot of anglers here that have a lot of experience have been here several times. Cole Sands could be a sneaky good angler here. John Cruz has done okay. Cody Huff, pretty strong northern swing 2 years ago. He had 3 top 20s in a row, including Lake St. Clair, Champlain, and St. Lawrence. But Feltz, kind of got his career started in the right direction again, and he kind of needs to redo that here. So I'm looking for Feltz to get another top 10. I think he was like 6th last time they were here on Lake St. Clair. Jumping over to bucket C, Palaniuk getting the headlights. Pat Schlopper doing really well. Don't have a lot of stats. Both these guys have had okay tournaments here, but they've not been dominant. Joey Cifuentes, the defending champ here. Evan Kung, like smallmouth, fishing up north with their electronics. Dakota Ebert has been here, done well. I would expect somebody like Wesley Gore to be strong here. If you're looking for somebody like off the radar, good value pick, I think Wesley Gore could be really strong. And obviously there's some veterans here that have been here many times. Canterbury, guys like that have done well on this fishery. But I'm going to go Alex Redwine. He did well in the Elite Series here. He also did well in the Bassmaster Open. I think he's been putting his time in here. He only lives 4 hours away from Detroit. Plus he's buddy with Jay Shakurat. That can't be a bad thing. All right, Corey Johnston, getting all the love here in bucket B. Easton Fothergill did okay. Cashed a check here, or just missed a check in the Opens last year. So he's got some experience as late as last year in the summer on Lake St. Clair. Cooper Gallant, I think, was like 4th last time we were here. Seth Feider has had a win here, has had some other good checks. Also has had some missed cuts. Jordan Lee, plenty of experience here, won a BPT event. Austin Felix, Tucker Smith. We got a lot of really good options here. Luke Palmer, I think, has a runner-up here. Lots of really good options here. But I'm going to go a little sneakier here, and I'm going to go Emil Wagner. He had like a top 20, 30 finish in the Bassmaster Open. He's got the Powerhouse Lithium juice going for him, so he'll have all the batteries he needs, all the scope juice he needs. And he's pretty good with electronics, and I think his Herring Lake experience will serve him well on Lake St. Clair. So let's see if that gamble pays off for me. But, if you want something a little safer, go ahead and go with like Cooper Gallant or Easton Fothergill. They'll be a very solid pick. Chris Johnston edging out Jay Shakurit here. Trey McKinney in the mix. Taco Idu, Kyo Fujita, Patrick Walters, all really awesome picks here. Could do well. I wouldn't count out somebody like Paul Marks. Got some opens experience here. Logan Parks. I mean, there's a lot of good talent here. Shane Hughes got plenty of experience, done well here. But I'm going Jay Shakurit. He, I think, finished 11th last time in the Elite Series here. Won the Bassmaster Open. He's in the lead for AOY. It's very interesting to watch. I'm going to go a little chalk there. So there's my lineup. Jay Shakurit, Emil Wagner, Alex Redwine, Jacob Feltz, and Jonathan Kelly. Let's jump over to the Pick'em and then wrap things up with Drain the Lake. This is literally my first look at Pick'em. I haven't really done any scouting here. We're just going to go gut feel here. Chris Johnson versus Shakurit. We're going to stay consistent there. We picked Jay over Chris in the buckets. Christie versus Cifuentes. That's tough. Both former champs. Neither one of them having great years this year. Ooh, I think I'm going to go with the Cowboy. Tucker Smith versus Paul Mark. I'm going to go with Tucker Smith. Ito versus Johnson. I'll go Taco Ito. He's been very strong. He loves Lake St. Clair. Trey Kinney versus Patrick Walters. Ooh. I'm just going to go Patrick Walters because I'm a fan of Patrick Walters. And it's going to be warm. Shorts will be in play. Pipkins versus Redwine. Great Lakes battle here. Redwine's going to stay in Lake St. Clair. Pipkins will likely go to Erie. That's probably not going to work out well for Pipkins. Run it back. Who's the top two anglers in 10 Killer? Wes Logan versus Andrew Loberg. I think Loberg gets his revenge here over Wes Logan. Let's jump over to Drain the Lake and wrap this up. All right, who do we like here? We definitely like Cooper Gallant, Taco Idu, Austin Felix, Jay Shakurit, Alex Redwine. I do have Seth Fighter here. I got Andrew Loberg and Jacob Feltz. That's my 8 anglers. Tiebreaker weight, I'm going 94 pounds, 6 ounces. It wouldn't shock me if they break 100 pounds, but I think they're going to have some wind or just a day that's going to keep them up a little short. So that's going to be a pretty stout average to be, mid-90s here, but I think that's the kind of weight we're talking about. So recapping here, Drain the Lake, Cooper Gallant, Taco Idu, Austin Felix, Jay Shakurit, Alex Redwine, Seth Fighter, Andrew Loberg, and Jacob Feltz. Don't forget, there's an Omnia discount code down in the video description, whether you're listening on the podcast or the video format, 15% off on your next order. If you're tired about talking about fancy fishing and you want to see some Lake St. Clair actual fishing, check out my Bassmaster Open video from last year right here next.